This is the first unit. Okay, we are going to revise the first unit. The name is Introduction and Weathering of Rocks. Okay. We have the two parts in the first unit, that is Introduction for Engineering Geology and Weathering of Rocks. Okay. So these are the course outcomes and course objectives you are seeing. Okay. So these are nothing but the course objectives are the, it will give the basic knowledge of geology, okay, for all types of constructions, including groundwater investigation, as well as in order to inspect the minerals as well as rocks. Okay, so that complete basic knowledge will be given by the engineering geology subject. That is the first course objective, right? Next, to focus on the core activities of a engineering geologist. Okay, so not only the uh, construction activities, we need to focus on the geology activities also. Okay, so how to make the site characterization. Okay, so how to identify the geological hazards. Okay, so not only identification, we have to take the preventions also. Okay, so these basic things we need to check in the uh, this particular subject, as well as how to plan and construct the civil engineering projects. Okay, that topic is also will be covered. So if you are going to see the course outcomes, then it will be the site characterization. Okay, how we have to collect, analyze, and report the geological data. Okay, in order to use in the civil engineering practice. Okay, so that thing will be discussed in the particular subject, and we have to know the fundamentals of engineering properties of earth materials. Okay, so whatever the earth materials will be there, we need to uh, analyze and study the engineering properties of the particular materials. Okay. So further, we have to do the rock mass characterization, okay, and mechanics of planar rock slides and topals. Okay. So this is about the course outcomes. So introduction. Usually the name geology is derived from the two words, two Greek words. Those are geo and logos. Okay. Geo means earth, logos means science. Okay. Earth science. It means geology means earth science. So we'll see about the geological agents. Those are exothermic and endothermic geological agents. So exothermic geological agents are responsible for the changes on the earth surface, and these acts very slowly, steadily, and it is a continuous process. It's not an seasonal ones. Okay, for every day, every second, the all agents are going to impact on the particular resources on the earth, and they are going to change the topography of the earth. Okay, for example, physical agents, wind, rain, and sunshine, temperature, seasonal variation, as well as the glaciers, volcanoes. So what are those things which are moving now in our day-to-day life? Glaciers and water flow, air flow. Okay, so those are all the exothermic geological agents, means which act upon the earth surface. So if you see the endothermic geological agents, these are the uh, agents which are there inside the So the endothermic geological agents are nothing but the agents which acts upon the inside earth surface, as well as which are in a discontinuous process. Okay, means for some years, and in a frequent years the changes are going to happen. Okay, those are nothing but the volcanoes, earthquakes. Okay, and what are the pressure and heat which is coming from inside, those are the things. Okay, so these are the geological agents, and we'll see the process here, that is the degradation, accretion and gradation. Okay, so degradation means removal of the top layer of the soil in making a gentle slope. Okay, so that making of slope, so these are the uh, degradation process. And aggradation means the removed particles from the hills and from the polluted structures. What are the uh, things will be transferred to the low lying areas, no? So these are going to make some deposition on the earth surface, so that deposited land, the newly created land, is called as aggradation. And gradation means the slope, gentle slope is created on a particular hilly areas. Okay, so that creation of gentle slope on the hilly areas is caused as the gradation process. Okay. The removal of layer of earth is called as degradation. Okay, and formation of new layer is called as aggradation. And the existed slope, if it is changing its shape and size in a gentle slope, then we'll call it as a gradation. Okay, weathering, erosion. And now we'll see the wearing, erosion and denudation. So this is nothing but then ETD process. So what do you mean by ETD process? You can see here. Okay. So in this process, erosion, transportation and deposition occurs. Okay. So first weathering of rocks occurs. So the weathered rock is going to be uh, eroded. Okay. So that is erosion part. And then transportation. Okay. So those eroded materials will be transported from hills to the low-lying areas. So that thing will be considered in the erosion part. And the transportation, the eroded particles are going to be deposited in the particular lakes or low-lying areas. Okay, so that thing, the deposition of those sediments is called as deposition process. So this is nothing but the ETD, erosion, transportation and deposition process. So now we'll see the different branches of geology. Those are physical, mineral, petrology, structure, hydrology, mining and stratigraphy. So in these branches, the mineralogy, petrology and structural geology are the very important ones, because these are going to be considered in almost all aspects of geology. See, these are the core branches, what we can say. So in mineralogy, we are going to be analyze the uh, types, characterization and study of the minerals. Okay. How we are going to use the minerals in our day-to-day life. Okay. For example, in water, we'll use the mineral water, and in food also. Okay. We'll use the mineral content food. Okay. That is in different vegetables and fruits. We are getting the variety of minerals. Okay. Vitamins and minerals will be there, and in making the different products like metals and uh, fibers or anything, glasses, everything is made from the minerals. Okay, that complete study will be given in the mineralogy topic. Okay, and in the petrology you can see, so the petrology, it will be showing the study of rocks. Okay, so petrology means study of rocks. In petrology, the study of rocks. Here, what we'll do, we are going to check the suitability of rocks in all types of constructions, in mass infrastructures and normal buildings and construction of roads and bridges. We're going to check the availability of rocks and which are suitable for the which type of process. Okay, in foundation, we're going to see the one kind of hardest rocks, and in flooring level, we'll use the some elongated structures or what you can say non-brittle structures. Okay, means it should not be brittle in nature, and it should be convenient for the flooring purpose. Okay. So that kind of the suitability for the construction we are going to check in the metrology department. So that is the study of rocks. So in next, structural geology. So in structural geology, what happens, we are going to study the four types of structures. Those are folds, faults, joints and unconformities. So these four structures are nothing but the main creatures of the earth. Okay. So in mountains we are going to observe the folds, and in particular earthquake prone zones we'll see the faults. Fault is the biggest crack which is available in the earthquake zones. Okay, and joints we'll see in the rocks. So unconformities, that is the hardest layer of the surface, that beneath the of earth you can get the hardest layer, that's called as unconformities. So these are the main topics and intentions of the branches of geology. So we'll see the brief study of case histories of failures. Okay. So these failures of geological structures are nothing but the uh, some mass infrastructures like dams and bridges, barrages, okay, and water retaining structures. So these are going to be failed in some of the cases by the uh, mistakes of geology. Okay, I mean mistakes of identification of the geological creatures. Okay. So what are those things means? First point is failure due to earthquake. So when earthquake comes, these structures are going to be failed, and failure due to landslide. Okay. So whenever the landslide occurs in the hilly areas, all the infrastructures are going to be failed. Okay. And failed due to the chemical weathering of foundation rocks. Okay. So we're going to check the foundation rocks in in order to see the characterization, because how it is going to react with the water and how it will react with the different alkalis and sulfates which are available in the rocks. Okay. The chemical content, chemically we have to analyze the rocks. Okay. For that purpose, we'll check the failure due to chemical weathering of foundation rocks. Okay. So the next thing is failure due to physical weathering. Okay. So by the physical weathering, the physical agents are responsible. Those are um, wind, rain, glaciers, sunlight, temperature variation, seasonal variation, and the different physical changes. Okay. So those are all included here in order to fill the dams by the physical weathering process. Okay. So next, we'll use the failure due to increase in fractures in geologic structures. Okay. So in geological structures, we're going to uh, study the fault, force, and unconformities. So by neglecting these things in the construction of dams, we're going to be uh, we're going to get the failure. Okay. So these are some of the cases. We'll see some of the dams here. Those are nothing but the first one is Vajon Dam. The dam is an arch dam and it is constructed uh, during 90s and failed on 9th October 1963, and it is located in the hilly regions which is completely surrounded by the mountains, and you can see particular image. So here all the mountains is there, so the rivers will be accumulating here. So it is the place where all the four branches of rivers are going to be joined. I mean, four tributaries are going to join in the particular place. Okay. So in this place what happens, the landslides. Okay, the mountain is going to be collapsed at suddenly, and the water which is present there is going to be rushed towards the Vajon dam. Okay, so the rushing water of the Vajon dam as well as the uh, land blocks, I mean soil blocks which are fall down in the water are going to hit the Vajon dam. So when they hit the Vajon dam, it will be collapsed, and the abutment of the Vajon dam will be washed away with the water. Okay. So this heavy loss is created in the Italy, and it's going to be, I mean, it's already lost the 4,000 lives. So this is the St. Francis Dam. This is the Gravity Dam. It is constructed in 1926, and it is failed in the 1928. Reason is leakages. Okay. Leakage in the machinery is going to be release the water in a sudden movement. So the jet of water is released from the dam by the leakages. So that will be eroded in the dams. You are seeing the details of the particular dam. Okay. Here we are seeing the particular reason for St. Francis Dam, and these are the importance of physical geology. Here we'll study about the physical agents, and these agents are responsible for change in the particular weathering of rocks and creation of new structures. Okay, the deposition of sediments. So these are all changes is going to be gives you the brief knowledge about Earth. Okay, so this is having the importance to study. So next, if we have importance of meteorology, here we will study the rocks. So study of rocks is very much important because to know the suitability of rocks for the constructions. Okay, which one suits for building blocks, which one suits for foundations, and which one is suitable for floorings and aggregates in the road metals. So these are the things used in the meteorology. So it's important to study in engineering geology subject. So if you're going to see the structural geology, then it is the important to study these four structures in order to have the construction of tunnels and multi-story buildings as well as dams and etc. Now we'll see the weathering of rocks. So it is the process of disintegration process by physically, chemical or biological deterioration of the rocks. So in physical weathering we have the four types. Those are frost dredging and frost steaming, friction and impact, digging by animals, and temperature changes. So this is the frost dredging where the different cracks has been arised in the rocks, and in this particular rocks the water will be accumulated, and due to the temperature changes those accumulated water will be converted into ice. So the conversion from ice, I mean solid state to liquid state, liquid to solid state, the changes will be uh, caused in the particular rocks. So it's going to lead you the uh, impact as well as the cracks to wider. So whatever the cracks we are seeing, it will be widened because of the accumulation of water and changing its state. So this will cause you the expansion and the weathering starts. So this type of weathering is called as physical weathering. You can see here the changes and how the solidified water is going to impart pressure and force on the particular rocks. So this is the frost edging and frost heaving. So these are the shattered rocks for freezing, how they are cracked, and this is by thermal process. So for the heat, how it's going to, how the rocks are going to change. And this is the example of weathering process, and it is the temperature changes. Due to in the cold countries and in the forest fire or the deserts, how this extensive heat and extensive cool and chilling process, how these both are going to impart the force on the particular rock bodies. And this is a chemical weathering process. So here the all types of different chemicals are going to uh, affect on the particular rock bodies. Okay, so what are those things means water, oxygen, carbon dioxide, living organisms and acid rain. Okay. So you can see how the water will be reacting to all these chemicals which are present in rocks. Okay. So that are going to release the uh, sulfuric acid in order to have the weathering process. The same for oxidation, and in hydration and hydrolysis the impact of water will be very much high, okay, in order to bleach the chemicals from the particular rock bodies. Okay, the solution means, so the chemicals which are present in the particular rocks are going to be uh, affected by the dissolved in the water, and due to change in pH and temperature the weathering will be started in a very fast conditions. You can see these are the examples of chemical weathering of rocks. Okay. So next, in biological weathering, what happens? The living organisms, trees, plants, bacteria, insects, everything are going to be uh, depend upon the nature, and these are going to impact some of the forces, and these are going to be uh, break down the rocks in different portions. So that things will be discussed in the biological weathering. This is how the plant roots and the man, uh, living human beings, can destroy the uh, rocks. Okay, burrowing of animals means how the particular animals will be making the caves and nests in the rock bodies. Okay, students, within 1 minute the Zoom meeting will be ended. I consider the attendance. Okay, after the meeting ends, you can leave the session and join next class. So this is what we have studied in the first unit. Okay, this is a complete revision part of first unit. The next class we'll see the second unit.